Hey guys, welcome back. It's Robyn, your independent Scentsy consultant. It is Thursday, Wax Wars Day, so that means we have got a couple of bars going head to head, and I will let you know where I warmed them, how they did, which one lasted the longest, which one was the strongest, and give you all the details like that, comparing the two, so you might decide which one you might want to try, or if you want to try both of them or neither of them. So this week we have Paradise Petals, which is new to the spring and summer catalog, with Hey Tigerlily, which is the March scent of the month. The thing these two have in common is that both of them are white florals with orange. So they're both very similar in that way, and I'll let you know how they did performance-wise as well. So Scentsy says that Paradise Petals is neroli and orange zest, beckon from a utopia of tropical white blooms. So we have neroli, which is like a citrus oil type note, orange zest, and tropical white blooms. Hey Tigerlily, Scentsy says, is wild tiger lily perks up sugared mandarin and luminous jasmine on a bright, beautiful sunny day. So we have tiger lily, mandarin, jasmine, and a sunny day sort of blue sky type scent. So I'll let you know what I think of these on cold sniff. So to me, Paradise Petals smells almost exactly like Clinique Happy. If you haven't smelled Clinique Happy, it's a very popular perfume from Clinique. It's been around for decades, or at least a decade. It is I would say almost like a gardenia-based white floral with just a hint of citrus. I wouldn't say it screams orange, but there's like a creamy citrus about it. Overall, this smells very much like that. You have the white blooms. They do smell sort of tropical, but not in a tropical fruit type way. More in like a tropical, like floral, very much floral type way. Not like hibiscus, not that sort of fruity tart floral, but like a very sort of heady floral. And then the orange isn't really orange. It's sort of a like whisper of like maybe orange oil or something in the base of that floral scent. So the orange here takes very much a back seat to my nose. On cold with Hey Tigerlily, this one's mostly orange. This one is, I would say, like sugared mandarin. That's probably pretty accurate. On cold, I get very little floral, if any. Maybe just a tiny bit, but I would say that on cold, this is like 90% sugared mandarin with a little bit of a freshness to it. It's almost like a laundry type scent, like a sugared mandarin with like a little bit of laundry to it. So that sunny day, I think, does kind of come into play here, at least on cold. So there we go. So this one went into my daughter's room, Hey Tigerlily, and Paradise Petals went into the office. So I did 2 cubes in each room. This bar I'd already warmed before, so this one's empty now. But 2 cubes in each room. And the first check-in was at 2 hours. So at 2 hours, we have Paradise Petals. I had it as a medium. It's white florals, warm and kind of sunny feeling. There was a slight orange sweetness, but it was mainly white florals. Smells a lot like Clinique Happy. So very, very true to cold sniff at 2 hours in. Smells very much like it does on cold. Hey Tigerlily at 2 hours is also medium. I put orange forward, very orange forward, fresh, almost laundry-like orange. Floral is secondary here by far. So this one again was pretty true to cold sniff at 2 hours in. Mostly orange, kind of freshness to it, very little floral. Next check-in is at 6 hours. And at 6 hours, I have Paradise Petals, seems to be more floral than before. It's soft and perfumey, very little orange here at this point. Very much like Clinique Happy. Probably best as a bedroom scent. I put very white floral heavy, reminds me of gardenia, very feminine. So yeah, I would say gardenia, like if you like lush gardenia, I think this is one that you would love. If you tend to really dislike those gardenia or those very heady white florals, I don't know that you'll like this. For me, this is one that could easily be headache inducing on the wrong day, so I would be careful with this one myself. At 6 hours in, Hey Tigerlily, still mostly orange. It's a fruity floral, but with orange. The floral takes a back seat. Smells like a sunny day with the windows open, orange, and like a few fresh blooms kind of wafting in. I put it's clean, fresh, and fruity, more than floral. Although there is just a little bit of floral here. It is not a floral-based scent like Paradise Petals. Where Paradise Petals is a floral-based scent, at 6 hours in, I'm feeling like Hey Tigerlily is a like clean, fresh, fruity, citrus type scent more than a floral. There's just a teeny bit of floral in there in the background. So on warm, as similar as the notes are, on warm they're quite different from one another at this point. At 12 hours, Paradise Petals is just kind of plugging along. It's about the same as it was at 6 hours. Still kind of like a medium strength. Very nice, soft and pretty. Again, very like floral. 12 hours with Hey Tigerlily, medium. Slightly more floral notes are coming out now. So at 12 hours, we're noticing some of the citrus in this kind of start to die off. Citrus doesn't last as long as floral notes usually. So at this point, the citrus is starting to take a bit of a back seat and die down, and we're getting more floral coming forward with Hey Tigerlily. 24 hours, Paradise Petals. This one, the cat seems to like this one I put down. So Piper had been sleeping in that room, which she never does. She never sleeps in the office, but she had been resting in there since I started warming this, really. Like, she'd been just kind of going in there and hanging out in there. So the cat seems to like Paradise Petals. Still a medium strength, which is pretty good, 24 hours in. This one is now entirely floral. I'm not getting any orange at this point. It's light and pretty, but somewhat of a heady floral. For me, it's the exact type of floral that kind of can give me a headache or kind of turn my stomach a little bit. I can see how it's very pretty. Like, it is a very pretty scent and I can understand the appeal. It's just not a scent for me. So that's where I'm at with this one at 24 hours in, but that's a full day in and it's still doing pretty good. So there's that. 24 hours with Hey Tigerlily. It's a light medium at this point. It is orange with a background of white floral, sort of like lily gardenia type scents. It's bright, and there's almost a slight bitterness to the orange, like a hint of orange zest rather than like the juicy sweet orange it was before. It's now becoming more of like a little bit more of a bitter orange. 32 hours in, we have Paradise Petals. It is now still medium, 32 hours in. More complex and stronger than Hey Tigerlily. It is similar white florals, but this one is somehow more floral and more complex. Smells very much like the scarf of someone that wears Clinique Happy. So yeah, I think if someone wore a Clinique Happy perfume and had like a sweater or a scarf on, took it off, that scarf would smell like what this smells like at this point. Quite pretty, very feminine. Doesn't scream orange, but there is still like a little bit of brightness or like a reminiscence of orange without being juicy or orange-like. So I don't smell orange, but there's something almost reminiscent of orange about this scent at this point. So very pretty, very feminine. Hey Tigerlily at 32 hours is light now. It's white floral, not a lot going on here. No mandarin detectable anymore at all. Very light white floral scent. Not identifiable. You walk into the room and you smell a little bit of like white floral, maybe lily, maybe gardenia, but you wouldn't be able to tell A, which floral it is, or B, what scent this is. No idea. It's just kind of a like floral type scent. No fruit here, no mandarin, no other notes, just a little bit of a white floral type scent lightly in the air. So that's Hey Tigerlily at 32 hours. Now we're at 48 hours, so 2 full days into this warm. So Paradise Petals is light, but still the same scent. The scent has not changed any further. It's still very pretty, very well balanced, but light. It's almost a creamy, smooth floral. And I don't mean creamy as in the cream or dairy note. I mean just it's sort of smooth and like there's no rough edges to this scent. This is very pretty and smooth. No orange, but it is bright and slightly sweet. Still the same scent. 48 hours with Hey Tigerlily. Very light lily type scent in the air. Not identifiable at all. No other notes but lily. Just specifically lily, but very light. And that's all there is at this point. 56 hours. So we're like 2 and a bit days in. Paradise Petals is light still. It is same scent, pretty creamy floral, no change, still doing fine, still light. It's just kind of carrying on beautifully. Hey Tigerlily is now extremely light, pretty much gone. All that's left in the air at 56 hours is like a dusty, almost musty sort of scent. Something weird has happened to this bar at this point. It is almost like a very faded, powdery floral. It's now quite unpleasant. It's not identifiable even as a scent. I wouldn't even say it's a scent. It's almost like an odor at this point. It kind of reminds me of mothballs and is making me cough. So this one turned at about 56 hours or somewhere between 48 and 56. You walk in and it's kind of like a dusty, powdery, like dusty, like hit in the back of the throat, make you cough type scent. Not strong at all, barely there. But it's almost like the room is dusty and been sitting for a long time, when that's not the case. This is my daughter's room, and that room's traveled in and out of all the time, and it's kept very clean. But it went weird. You don't get that note at all on cold or any time before this point. This very much just came out of the blue. So don't let that put you off. Just be aware that this one might turn on you around a couple days in. So if you keep this one going that long, it could turn and become almost like a powdery dust type scent. But that was over 2 days in. I mean, we got our money's worth at this point out of this scent. So even if you take it out at 48 hours to avoid that, it's still a good bang for your buck. And that is another thing, is both of these scents lasted a pretty long time. So this one is the first one to be done because it's extremely light, even that dusty scent now, and at 56 hours, I can't keep this one in. It's awful. So I take that one out at 56 hours. We called this one done because it was no longer really smellable, identifiable, and it wasn't pleasant anymore. Next check-in is 64 hours. The only horse left in the race is Paradise Petals. It's very light, almost gone, but still slightly noticeable if you're looking for it. 72 hours, it is now totally gone, no trace of it anywhere. So somewhere between 64 and 72 hours, it completely kind of evaporated. So at 72 hours, we called this one. So this one lasted a little bit longer than Hey Tigerlily. This one did not get weird at all at the end. It just sort of faded out gradually like most scents do. So no weirdness at the end with this one. That brings us to the Wax Awards, or the Scentsies, I guess we could call them. So the first award is for Strength at Peak. And with this one, both of them reached medium, and they were medium for about the same amount of time. So this one is a tie. Like, if you're looking for strength, they're both pretty darn neck and neck. I couldn't really pick one over the other for this one. So strength, about a tie. Longevity, Paradise Petals lasted 64 plus hours, whereas Hey Tigerlily petered out and got really weird at around 56. So Paradise Petals wins for longevity. If you want a scent that you can just kind of put in and leave for days, Paradise Petals is your pick. Throw, as far as like how much coverage each scent gave. Both rooms are about the same size, but I would say about medium, about the same for each. Neither one of these was a wafter. Neither one of these wafted outside the room it was in, really, or at least not very darn much. So neither one was a super crazy thrower, about average for both of them. Mixability. Probably neither. I don't know that I would mix either one of these really. But if I were to mix one of them, it would probably be Hey Tigerlily. I would probably add more citrus or more fruit to dampen that floral note as it carries on. But neither one of these is a super mixy scent in my opinion. I don't know that they would be made nicer or complemented by mixing. Open layout worthy. Are either of these open layout worthy? I have done Paradise Petals in my open layout before, and it did last a reasonably long time out here too, but it wasn't very strong. So if you want a strong open layout scent, I would say neither one of these. If you're okay with like a light medium open layout scent, this one did last reasonably nicely. If you have a larger open layout or an open layout with high ceilings or a much bigger space, I wouldn't do either one of these necessarily. I don't know that they're strong enough for that. Scent appeal, which is the most subjective of the awards. For me, initially, Hey Tigerlily had the higher scent appeal just because it was less floral and more orange. Florals are hard for me, especially these white florals. White florals in particular, I struggle with. They give me a headache most of the time. So for that reason, I preferred this one at the start because it had very little of that. Overall scent appeal, when you take into consideration the entire warm, I would have to say this one. Paradise Petals is a very beautifully blended scent. Despite it not being my cup of tea, it's a very nicely done scent, and I think it's better balanced, and I think it's smoother and has more complexity than Hey Tigerlily. So if I were to recommend one of these two, and assuming the person didn't dislike florals, I would say Paradise Petals. This one was nice. I would say don't leave it in longer than 2 days would be my only recommendation. But there is a really nice, this is a nice mandarin. Like, this is a very pretty, sweet mandarin, and it stays that way for at least a day. So not bad at all. Overall, yeah. Overall pick for me would be Paradise Petals, but again, they're both pretty decent. If you're really opposed to florals, I think your pick is going to be Hey Tigerlily out of these two. But yeah. Overall, the notes on these were so similar, and they do smell pretty comparable on cold, or at least quite comparable on cold, but they did end up warming pretty differently. So there's that. And that is the orange florals. So now is the part of the video where I let you pick what we're gonna do next week for Wax Wars. So I have a couple options here with scents that are either newly available or going to be available. So the first one I have here is Turning Red, which is the new Disney bar, with Paradise Punch. Now, Paradise Punch is a sort of fruit punchy type scent. To me, Turning Red is also very fruit punchy. I feel like this one's a bit sweeter, but they have similar feels to them and similar notes. I did order in clearance Let's Get Punchy, and I think I might add that to this Wax War. If it gets here on time, it should. So if this one wins, we may add just Let's Get Punchy to this Wax War. Second in line, we have these two, which I think are extremely comparable. These two are very close. So we have Green, which is one of the new Chase Rainbow bars, and we have Appletini Splash, which is a new catalog scent this spring and summer. So these are both green apple based scents, except for, and I think they're the same green apple note. This one has simple syrup. This one has no simple syrup, but it has cactus blossom and kiwi water. So they're very similar. So we could compare these two and see the differences between these two because they are very similar. Again, your options are the green apples, which is these two bars, or Turning Red and Paradise Punch, and potentially Let's Get Punchy will be added here as well. So there's those. And let me know what you would like to see, the fruit punches or the green apples. Let me know below. Voting is open from the time this goes up until Saturday at noon Pacific time. So let me know what you would like to see, and I will see you in the next video. And hope you guys have a great weekend. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.